Welcome everyone to the pre-health transfer panel hosted by Medical Allergy Association or MOA. And before we kind of get started with the panel, we're gonna go over some of the Zoom etiquette. So Nessa, could you take over?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our meeting today. Before we get into the panel itself, we want to establish some Zoom etiquette and rules. So our rules start with please respect the officers and the guest speakers during the meeting. You can do so by muting while the hosts are speaking, by using appropriate language in call and chat, by being polite to everyone in the chat and while you're speaking, and to not ask any diagnostic questions. Any disruptions or members who do not respect the meeting can be kicked out of the meeting during any time. And this meeting is recorded, so it'll be posted on our YouTube channel. If you're not comfortable with being on YouTube, please save your questions to the last, and then you can ask them then.
Today's event will be split into two recorded sections. We will start off with the main session where we can ask our panelists a series of questions. The second portion is a Q&A breakout room session with your desired panelists. If you would like to know more about the transfer process of a specific healthway pathway, this is your time to speak with alumni. And to the right is the event time schedule, which you can find on the event program, which is shown on the next slide.
So in this slide, this is all information regarding the event. There's these QR codes. I'll additionally post them right here in the chat. So right here, this is just our event program and the worksheet. And these are detail about the panelists and any guiding documentation you want to ask for the panelist questions.
And I'll leave it on for like 2 more seconds. But it's also in the chat, so yeah. Okay, so so I'm gonna talk a little about our club system. So MOA adopted a point system for this academic school year. So unfortunately today it's kind of different from this system, but basically in our point system, you will have an opportunity to earn 2 points. The first point being signing in with a Google form at the beginning of the meeting, and signing out at the end of the meeting and inputting the correct word of the day. And if we record the meeting, we will post it on our YouTube channel, and after we post it on our YouTube channel, you have 24 hours from the time we posted it and announced it to earn half the points. And there are options to earn extra credit points. So you can either participate in the community and send proof to us via our email, or fill out the extra credit form, which is posted on our website. And unfortunately, we're not doing a Kahoot today because we want to maximize the amount of time you have to ask the panelists questions. But basically, at the end of the quarter, the person with the most amount of points will win a prize. We actually recently changed this, so I'm so sorry. But we changed this to the member. We're gonna enter all the points into a raffle, and whoever wins the raffle will earn a prize. And yeah, so the person with the most amount of points is likely to win, but won't be guaranteed to win. But yeah.
Additionally, we also have an extra credit opportunity for anyone who's interested. For this opportunity, please scan the QR code. I'll go ahead and paste it right here in the chat as well. This is just a form to take a selfie during the events and to fill out a feedback form to get 2 extra points for MOA.
I'll leave it in for like 2 seconds, but it's also in the chat. And you get a point each for like submitting a selfie and 1 point for giving us feedback. Yeah. Next slide.
Hi everyone. So for our tentative events, so for these are some of the remaining events that we have for this quarter. So these events, the first one is what we are doing right now. So it'll be the pre-health transfer panel where we are having alumni from the Anza speak about their experiences and give any advice that they might have to current students. And for the second one will be next week. So it will be a genetic counseling info session. And so for that one, if you are interested in genetics and just learning about being a genetic counselor, it will be a great opportunity for that. And then for the last one, it will be our in-person bonding event. So it will be in December. Right now, the officers are still planning the date and how we are going to work out the event for that. So yeah, these are the events that we are having for the remaining of the fall quarter.
This is the active opportunities spreadsheet. It includes resources for volunteering, webinar, scholarships, internships, and other programs. You can access the spreadsheet through the QR code or the link provided in the chat.
So these are our social media accounts if you want to get connected with us. So for these sites, we have the Linktree QR code where we have all our social media on there. So you can scan it and it'll take you to all our platforms. But we are mostly active on Instagram and on Discord. However, you can also email us if you have any questions as well. And those are all the QR codes for our social media accounts.
And we will also paste it in the chat. An officer could paste in the chat.
All right, now that we got that out of the way, we can finally introduce our lovely Anza alumni. So if you guys can tell us your name, pronouns, major, attending institution, the season and the year you transferred in, how long you attended Anza, and any extracurriculars if you participated in any. I know that's a lot, so I can copy and paste that in the chat as well.
Okay, are we starting off with me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm a little bit under the weather, so please excuse that. So my name's Amy. I go by the pronouns she, her. The major, I'm a biosci major at UCI, and I transferred fall 2022. I attended the Anza for 3 years, and the extracurriculars I currently participate in is I'm a member of like 2 like cultural clubs, which is like Chinese Association and then also the Vietnamese one. I'm also part of PACT, which is this PA catered club. And then I'm also a part of SHIP, which is basically it's basically it's like a club that brings like volunteers to a specific clinic, and they just volunteer and do like front office work and back office work. That's it.
Okay, since Amy went and we're both in the pre-PA category. Oh, sorry. Am I not supposed to go right now? Sorry.
Shania can go on.
You know, Isabelle, if you want to go, you can go. No problem there. Hi everyone, I'm Shania and I am a senior at USC. I'm gonna look at the chat because I will forget something. Okay, my pronouns are she, her, hers. and I transferred August of 2021. So I believe that's fall of last year. And I attended De Anza from August 2019 to August 2021. So that's 2 full years. And are you talking about extracurriculars I'm currently a part of, or what extracurriculars I was in at De Anza? Does it matter? I don't know. Okay, well, I am currently in AMWA, which is American Medical Women's Association. And I used to be the VP of MOA a year ago or 2 years ago. Geez, I'm old. And now I'm the VP of AMWA. So it's like a very full circle thing. And I'm also an intern for Kaya Press, which is a publication organization under the auspice of USC. And then I'm also an EMT. I am going to be employed next semester. I need money, so we will see about that. Yeah. And then I think that's it.
I was like, is it my turn? Well, Shania, that was impressive. So, hi, my name is V. My pronouns is she, her, and I'm currently a nursing student at Texas Woman University in Texas. I transfer, I'm done at the end and in December 2021, and I transferred in January 2022. So just beginning of this year. I attended De Anza for 2 years and 1 extra quarter because of life events. And at De Anza, I was a tutor at the touring center. I was a TA for poli-sci. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Isabelle could go next since it's.
Oh, okay. So hi everyone, my name is Isabelle. I use she, her pronouns. I'm currently at UC Davis. My major is biological sciences. I transferred from De Anza, same thing with Shania, so last fall 2021. And right now the extracurriculars that I'm participating in, I'm an officer for badminton club at UC Davis. I'm also an officer for pre-PA club at Davis as well. And I am working part-time as a physical therapy aide in a town very close to Davis. But yeah, I don't think I missed anything. Oh, and then I was technically at De Anza for 3 years. I started in 2018, and then transferred in 2021. But yeah, thank you all for being here. I'm excited to speak.
I'm sorry, I was muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, can I go or Zen, are you going?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. My name is Natalia. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I transferred to UC Berkeley this fall. And I originally came in as a marine science major, but I've recently changed my major to sociology and potentially minoring in something. And I was at De Anza for 3 years, so from fall 2019 until last spring. And extracurriculars I participated in at De Anza were MOA. I was an officer for 2 years. I was part of the RSLS Research Symposium with the 2020-2021 officers. That was a great experience. And then I did a handful of other stuff. What did I do? Shadowing at Kaiser and other stuff. Yeah.
Oh, is it me now? Hello, everyone. My name is Zen. I am a 3rd year in college or 1st semester in the nursing program at San Jose State University. I transferred here. So I transferred here this fall, so fall 2022, and I was at De Anza from summer of 2020 to spring of 2022. So I just finished De Anza this year, and I transferred to SJSU this year. Here at my current school, I am a board member for our cohort. I am a member of the Nursing Frat ATD and some other clubs California Nursing Students Association and Association of Nursing Scholars. And while I was at the Anza, I was part of a couple of different things. What was it? I was like a mentee at the mentor thing. I was a MOA member. My first year, I became an officer for the Zero Waste Club my second year. And oh yeah, I'm also doing caretaking now. But that's it. Yeah.
Nessa, could you introduce the other panelist that could not make it today?
Yeah, so we have one of our panelists that cannot make it, but I can go ahead and introduce her. So I will read it as in, my name is Ameesa, I think it's Giri, and my pronouns are she and hers. I'm currently attending San Jose State University as a nursing major. I transferred in the fall of 2022. I attended Anza College for 2.5 years. I was en route to starting a club at Anza, but due to scheduling conflicts among the board members, we couldn't bring it into effect. That would be all.
Okay, thank you for introducing yourselves. And now we're gonna start with the series of questions. It will be a 4-part series, but we might skip the 4th part depending on the time because we want to maximize the amount of time the audience members have to ask you questions. So the first part of the series of questions is, what were some of your most memorable moments at De Anza? What did you learn during your time here that is helping you in your daily life? This can be a life lesson, socially related, or in terms of academics. And we could start with the same order, Amy, Shania, Vy.
The most memorable moments at De Anza, I really think actually was the RSLS. That was pretty fun. And just MOA in general, because you create like a really close bond with all your officers. And we did like this program where we collaborated with a microbiology professor, and we coordinated with we did drawings, we wrote out a story, and then we presented it at this symposium. And we put a lot of hours into that and a lot of thought, and it was really fun. So yeah, MOA, woo. What did I learn about during my time here? I just learned time management, really, and altering my study habits to cater towards college level. In high school, I don't think I properly learned how to study. So definitely once I was at community college, I had to alter that, especially all the STEM classes you have to take. Those are so fun. That's it.
My memorable moment at De Anza was my time with MOA. I think that it was during COVID, but it was so crazy how strong a bond I had formed with 4 or 5 other incredible women who were just as passionate as I was and wanted to do everything. And it was so much fun. And it's only because when you transfer to a 4-year and you get into an officer position, sometimes they won't be as close knit. And so I definitely missed that from MOA. I think one thing I learned, if you guys know the one and only Tom Nguyen, Lord, God is good, let me tell you. He was so great. But I think that he really taught me how small our world becomes when we are stressed out, and how much we narrow ourselves down to I don't know, our obstacles. So he kind of just helped me to have a more holistic view of life. And if you can ever get an appointment with him, please do, because I don't know, it was very reassuring to have him during my community college experience. Yeah.
Okay, is it my turn? Okay. So my most memorable moments at the Anza, the touring center was my investment. I spent pretty much like 20 hours just there every single week, and being able to work with all of the students and being able to grow myself as well. Like I can see the number of subject that I tutor is like my progressions in community college. The more I go, the increase the amount of years is like I tutor more and more subject. And like I started with pre-calculus because I was engineering major then, and I switched to statistic, and I forget completely everything about calculus because I transferred to like a public health nursing major. So that was me at the Anza. I get to meet a lot of people across the board, different ages, different background. Um, the Anza taught me a lot about it. It was a good time for me to transition into a more professional lifestyle. You know, being efficient, how to study, how to find my way in school, and then how to manage professor, how to work with them, and then how to utilize school's resource as well. So yeah, the end was really nice.
Yeah, like similar to all the other panelists that have spoken before me, like 100% agree with what everyone said. During my time at Dianza, I was president from year 2020 to 2021. And MOA definitely was such like an unforgettable experience, especially since the pandemic. Everyone's kind of like being secluded and isolated because everyone was at home, but we were able to like band together over common interest and like work together to like a similar and create something really cool. Like it's kind of nice to see how many people are here today. And when we first started, like we only come like 15 people to our meetings. So like this is just nice to see that. Other areas that are also memorable for me at Dianza was I was part of Dianza's badminton team. That really taught me time management because badminton would be like 3 hours at night, almost every practice every night. So I wouldn't be able to have my lectures and labs in the morning, be able to study in the afternoon, find time to eat, and also have time to do practice and study from my tests and whatnot. And Tom Nguyen is obviously a very great counselor. There's a lot of counselors out there that are gonna like lead you the wrong way, but Tom Nguyen isn't one of them. So definitely go check him out. He definitely helped me and helped like ground me and give me a really realistic view about how to reach my goals as a pre-health student. And then the most important takeaway from me for Dianza was like wherever you go, like you kind of romanticize like wherever like the lifestyle you're gonna have or the people you're gonna meet, but everywhere you go, it's kind of like it's whatever you make it to be. So however much effort you put in, it's going to be amazing if you like try to seek out amazing opportunities, try to meet people. But if you just kind of like take a back seat, like nothing's really going to happen if you don't want it to. But yeah, Dianza, for some people could be like a commuter school, but at least for me, it was a very amazing opportunity and allowed me to transition between high school and going to like a 4-year university, because I definitely have friends who are struggling with that transition, trying to study for tests and whatever. But yeah, that's all.
Just like some of the other MOA alumni said, MOA was one of my most memorable experiences at Dianza. Like surrounding myself with like-minded individuals who shared similar goals was really fulfilling and motivating in my classes.
Yeah, for me, the most memorable thing for Dianza was a similar thing where like being an officer for a club for me was zero waste was the most memorable thing. Like Isabelle's right, where you have like a lot of like flexibility with like what you want to do at Dianza, so you can decide to not do anything and it can become like a commuter school. But then if you decide to get like heavily involved in because Dianza has like a lot of opportunities if you decide to become involved in the organizations at school and things like that. You can like there's like I had like a lot of it gives you that chance to have like a lot of meaningful experiences that like really impacts like what you decide to do with college, your life, and everything in general. Yep.
Are we moving on to Ameesa now? Or I think we can go on and I can read her response. So Ameesa said that the transition from community college to a university wasn't that bad. I believe that learning in the quarter system prepared me for the fast-paced learning environment at the SJSU nursing program. That's all.
And we'll move on to the next question, which is application based. And Emmanuel?
Yeah, so the question is, what is one general advice you have to those transferring this year? What about those transferring next fall?
Are you, hold on. For those transferring this year, are they in the process of like applying? Or oh, do you know your results yet? No, right? I'm so mad.
Amy, do you remember applying in November and like submitting your UC app in
Yeah.
your 30th?
It's been a while.
Yeah, so basically the UC application and many of the CSU applications are due on November 30th.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's pretty close. So yeah, we're asking you guys if you have
Okay.
advice.
So got it. Now I remember. Thank you. It's like I suppress that memory, you know what I'm saying? Just kidding. One general advice? Oh, book an appointment with Tom. That is my advice. And I know Shania was like, yeah, book an appointment with Tom because that man, I think he was like a journalism major at Berkeley or something. I'm not, or political science. But he like went through my essay and I like had a life change. I was like, whoa, okay. This was so helpful. He literally goes through it and he like, I don't know how he does it, but he like spices it up, gives really like helpful advice, help me like put focus on certain things. So ASAP Rocky, book an appointment with Tom. That's my advice. And also go through your friends too. They help, but Tom was so good. And to those transferring next fall. So that means that like they got accepted, right? And they're transferring.
What we meant was applying to transfer. Sorry, the wording's really weird. Yeah.
Applying to transfer next fall. Oh, I see. It's a cliche, but start early. This is an advice for like in general, just for graduate school too, or for applying for colleges. The hardest thing, like you don't even need to like write your essays even. Just start early, as in open the application. Just open the window, see what you can fill out, because it does get stressful, So just like fill out the general information. It's a really big pain in the butt when you took different community college classes at different places at different years too. So like make sure your transcripts are all like organized and everything from those different like institutions. And what I mean to this applies to grad school and this applies to like applying for university is that if you have like a moment in your head or like you have a really significant moment, take out like the notes app on your phone and just like type about it and like remember. So you can like talk about it later, maybe in your grad school applications or like in like university applications. So that's my advice.
Wow. My advice. I'm gonna agree with Amy on this one. Start early. And for people transferring next fall. Oh, that's what you mean, Megan. Okay, so let's see what you're saying. I don't know. Okay, I've been telling my brother this because he's transferring. And I think that's easy to get bogged down because you feel like you're not doing enough, especially in the Bay Area where there's this, like, you have to be this well-rounded person with all these extracurriculars and the best grades ever. But I feel like when you're coming to community college, I say the first thing to work on is study habits, focus on school. And if you can get that down, because we are all pre-health people, so those are intense classes. I think once you get that down, start expanding onto bigger things. So start adding more extracurriculars, start doing that slowly, because on the end of the day, like they will be checking all that. So yeah, start your essays early and focus on school. That's horrible advice, but it's the best I could do.
I think they are great advice. So if you're applying right now in your application too, I remember doesn't matter how early I started, I'm still gonna finish the essay on the day of or the day before. And it's absolutely okay. I like Amy advice. Whenever think about it, and then whenever you have an idea, jot it down. there's a rules that like you don't have to sit down and finish an essay all at once. Work on it little at a time, because when you sit down, you get stuck in a mindset, and it's just, and then you run out. You gotta write a blog, for instance. So just go with life. And this essay, don't forget that this essay is supposed to reflect who you are as a person. So whatever you do, try to reread through and see, is that me? Because once, and I keep telling people, like, as long as you are being yourself, it's the best version of you. And then if you're transferring next fall, sometimes we forget that, like, we keep looking ahead in the future of like, oh, I'm transferring, what I'm gonna do. So we just living for the future. So live at the present, like Shania said. Focus in class, do whatever, live your life. And then if you're transferring next fall, it's good to look into, school, what are the options are, where you can go, and look into what are the requirements, so that to see whether you meet the requirement and what you need to do to, plan that to meet the goal. So yeah, pretty much it.
Yeah, other than the cliche, then start early, because it's really hard to create really good personal essays when you're like on a time crunch and you're thinking about like, oh, like what I did in my life, like you're reflecting all in like a span of like a week or something. So it's definitely start early. And another advice, do the tag, do your FAFSA. Shania can speak on FAFSA. Like, make sure you just get those done, even though you don't think you're going to go to those schools, or you don't think you're going to get any money. Just do it. You never know what happened, and it's definitely going to help you in the long run. What else? For people trying to decide when you're applying right now, this might be a little bit too type A, but like if you want, you could create a spreadsheet and kind of just start listing your top like priorities on what you find in a school. So tuition costs, location, if they have a particular program that you're really interested in, or a club that you think will be a really good fit for you, definitely look into those. Let's see what else. And then also, I think something that helped me, so I know how everyone hasn't gotten their decisions out for the people who applied already, but I had a really tough time in the end choosing which school I wanted to go. And it feels like the end of the world in the moment, but like it's not really that big of a deal. But what I used to help me make that decision was this thing called a decision-making matrix. You can just like look it up really quick. But it kind of just ranks, like kind of give numerical scores to like different priorities. And then in the end, it comes out with a number, and you can really justify like, oh, is this the school that I really want? Or how important are these factors to me? But yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, like others said, get started on your application early. And then, yeah, that's all I have for the people that are transferring this year. For next year, if you haven't yet, like try to get involved in school activities. I think extracurriculars are an important part of your application. Maintaining, well, no, okay, I'm done. That's it.
My advice is like if you're gonna do nursing, it's really important that you need to start researching like what colleges you're gonna apply to and stuff. And it's like what they said, you should reach out to Tom like as soon as you can, because like the worst part about the application is that the requirements for every school is like completely different. Or it's not completely different, but there's like these different things that like if you miss like one thing for one school, like it's impossible to get in because they're gonna like reject you immediately. So you need to see like you should like, or Isabelle called it type A, but whether or not you're type A, like you need to do this. Like you have to start making a spreadsheet or like a Google Doc. Start like checking, I think it's assist.org, to see what requirements transfer over. And then if they don't transfer over, like contacting the colleges to see like if this class fits this class, and if not, going to another school that fulfills that requirement. And then oh yeah, and then also seeing like extra like curriculars, all that. Like it's really bad how inconsistent it is. So you should start like making those things now. Yeah.
And I believe we have advice from Ameesa. If Nessa could
Yeah, I can read out Ameesa's advice. Okay, so Ameesa said that I'm really sorry, the document is not loading for me right now.
I could read it out loud, but could you paste in the chat? Ameesa said, I would like to encourage students to apply to colleges that they feel they might not get accepted into. You never know what the future has in store for you. Work hard and do your best, but never self-doubt your potential. Apply to every college that offers the program you are looking for. And we'll move on to the next question, which will be our last question of the series because we're running out of time.
Our third question is, how is the transition between community college to university?
So in terms of academics, I think De Anza, like it's great that I'm assuming a majority of people here go to De Anza or Foothill. It's quarter-based, so we kind of already know the flow a little bit. And so in terms of academics, it's as equally fast-paced. And if you took like physics or OChem at De Anza, then you got through it. That's basically university. Some classes like physiology, for one thing, at UCI is a little bit more in depth. Maybe it's a little bit more in depth than the community college level. But in terms of networking and the social aspect, this was a huge shock for me because in community college, I feel like people are more open to socializing. Classes are small. But at UCI, if you're in a classroom with 200 people or something, the likelihood that you will like see that person again or talk to them is like really slim. So for those who are transferring, like I really recommend you to like maybe join a club or something to build those really in-depth like relationships, because I personally am struggling to make friends in my classes, but you have to be a little bit more active in reaching out. That's what I would say. But in terms of academics, De Anza, I think really preps you, especially like OChem and physics. That was hard at De Anza.
My transfer experience was interesting because it was at the time where universities were trying to go from like Zoom university to like forcing you to go back in person or hybrid. So it was a pretty lonely like first semester. But like I still made friends. It was just a weird adjustment of like having to move down to Southern California, make entirely new friends, have new roommates, a new apartment. It is a completely different area from, growing up in the Bay Area, even though it is just like 5 hours out down. So it was just a lot of adjustment. Academics was like, it's tough. I was taking physics at USC, and the pre-med community and pre-med classes are rigorous. So I will say rigor's up there, but you just have to be very diligent and very study hard and just use as much resources as possible. And I will say this to people that are transferring, my biggest advice, and one thing that not advice, it's just a learning lesson. It will take you a whole quarter or a whole semester to adjust. And after that, you're on top of the mountain. It's like you're on top of the world. Like it is it's just a weird semester, a weird quarter. But once you get through that, the rest of your 4-year experience will be amazing. But yeah, that's it.
Well, to prop to any one of you that take physics or like are taking it and will take it in the future, it is the subject that got me out of engineering. Can't do physics. But the transitions between, I feel like if you have the core, like know how you study, know how yourself work, have an efficient way to study, it doesn't matter where you transfer to. You should be able to adapt and apply what you learn, and just apply the core and be flexible at the same time. The Anza is great. The Anza, all of the classes there, the professor preps you well. Definitely, and I do encourage that if you're transferring, it's good if you find an activity like Amy mentions to be involved in school, and then networking and to make connections with people. But yeah, and then I would like to highlight that like that transition can be exciting as well, because like you're doing new stuff and it's like adrenaline pumping through your system, that you're meeting new people, learning new things, and it can be exciting.
Yeah, I think the transition for me, it was very exciting as well. You're kind of like meeting new people, like living out for most people, like for the first time outside of their home. My advice, definitely take advantage of like your first few couple quarters or your first year. Take it easy when you're planning your classes, because there's gonna be so many events that you want to go to. Like, you should really take advantage of how light your load is and how free you are that time. Because at least as a second, like I guess fourth year now at Davis, but like a second year transfer out of transfer to Davis, there's definitely more responsibilities that come with it. So definitely take advantage of the first year, because especially if you're planning on either working either at the lab, at a clinic, doing other things like that, or getting more involved in clubs, there's more responsibilities and less time for you to just kind of do whatever. So I think taking the time the first year and like cherishing that. Other than that, I think props to everyone who's now here at De Anza and Foothill. I think it's a good transition going into community college. Going to a four-year university. I think it's good that De Anza's quarter system, and if you're going back to a quarter system, it's good, because I've seen some people who start a semester system and then come to a quarter system and they get really messed up by the different how like the timing of the test and trying to stay on top of everything. Just be careful about having too much fun, I would say, because I definitely think I got carried away about getting involved in so many activities and not really focusing. But it's okay, it's fine, because like you're literally transferring. It's like a new environment. Definitely put yourself out there when it comes to networking. Meeting new people will really get you to like have different opportunities, and it can actually, it's like really surprising sometimes where it can lead you. And the kind of people you'll meet, it's will really what make your experience at your future university. It's like a pretty big determining factor. But yeah.
In terms of like the academic rigor, I would say community college prepares you really well to transfer to a four-year university. Although like I'm now a sociology major, I think you learn a lot of great studying skills from De Anza is pretty stressful. It teaches you how to study well. And so I think that translates well into a four-year university. And in terms of networking, specifically at UC Berkeley, there's a huge transfer community. There's even like a transfer student center you can get involved in. And like a lot of transfer clubs that I've started to get involved in this year. And that's a great way to make new friends and network.
I feel like, yeah, if you're transferring, because so SJSU is a semester system. If you're transferring from a quarter, I think it's like a lot more manageable than the other way around. I don't know about other, I'm pretty sure for most of the other CSUs, it's a similar thing where you're in a cohort with however many people, and you're gonna stick with these same people for like to the end of your or like till you graduate basically. So I think because of that, the transition is like, it's a lot easier because there's like other people that you're spending like all your time with, doing work with, that you can talk to and stuff. But I think like what's really important that you can do is like what other people said, is like reaching out and putting yourself out there and networking, because like how well you do in classes and stuff can kind of be impacted by like talking to upper semesters, like what they did, and getting info on like the classes you're going to take and stuff. So yeah, those two things are important. Or just that, yeah.
And I believe Ameesa's answers were read earlier as a mistake for the introduction, so I apologize. But yeah, so now we had this question, but we're running a bit short on time, and we want to move on to the Q&A session. So right now we're gonna take a picture. So if you would, oh, hold up. Sorry about this. If you would like to be in the picture, please turn on your camera. And after we take the picture, we will head on to the Q&A session. And you can ask the panelists any questions that you may have. And I'll let like a few more seconds. If you would like to be in the picture, please turn on your camera. Okay, I'll take the picture in 3, 2, 1. I'll take like 10. It's also in the recording, so like you can probably hear it, but okay. Thank you guys for participating, being in the picture. Now we're going to open breakout rooms. And you can choose which breakout room you want to be in. There's going to be a pre-P breakout room, a nursing breakout room, and a miscellaneous breakout room. Let me open the rooms. So let me assign the panelists the room. So please, if you're having any trouble with joining the rooms, please put in the chat or let me know, and I will help you. But yeah.
And then FYI, if anyone's interested in looking at like the decision matrix thing, I'll be putting that into going over that inside the breakout room if you're interested in that.
Okay. And let's see. So if you're having trouble joining the breakout room, just let me know and I will help you join the room you want to join.